When we tell a story, we're entering into a contract with the audience?
Oh, yeah, from the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? What's this contract? Can we get out of the contract?
Sure. You pay a price for it. So basically, when you sit down and say, I'm going to tell you a story, you are promising something. And you know, I in the video, I draw a comparison. I use the metaphor of you're taking out a loan from somebody. And what you're promising is that you're going to pay back the loan and that they will get interest for their investment of attention. And attention is the currency that they're spending. It's actually the probably most important currency, like real world currency that we're dealing with, is the currency of attention, especially with the internet, especially in the entertainment industry. Literally, entertainment is the industry of getting people to pay attention. So what you're doing is you're promising that it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth putting their time into it. So your job as the artist is not only to present the conflict in an interesting way, but to make it mean something to them. And that's where it gets very subjective. That's why you can have some of the great storytelling and only a few people will get it, because it's relative to like whatever psychological dynamics or whatever values resonate with them.
Can you give me an example of a story that does pay off, where the contract is fulfilled and someone's obligation is paid off, and then maybe one that it's not fulfilled?
Ton.
Okay.
What's a good simple one? Back to the Future. Will he get back to the future? Right there, you're making a promise with that title. Usually the contract you're making with the audience is right in the title. It's right with the trailer. Will he get back to the future? You're promising that in some way, not only are you going to answer the question, but that you're going to enjoy the ride and that it's going to mean something when he gets there. And I do think that that's, you know, ultimately he goes through this whole journey. It's Michael J. Fox, who's endlessly entertaining. And then, was it Zemeckis, who's just brilliant. Like it's perfectly directed. It's so much fun. And it's the movie that everybody's seen. So it's like, I would always use it as like the perfect example of just like entertaining movie. Like it's just a completely entertaining movie. So I do think it completely fulfilled the contract. You're entertained the entire time, and then at the end, he gives you exactly what you want in a way that you don't expect, and it's fun. You know, you enjoyed it. But along the way, you're also learning little themes like about, you know, this high school teenager who's learning to appreciate his family and learning what his parents went through and shit like that actually kind of resonates on kind of a more subconscious level, where it's like, you know, he begins to develop an appreciation for the different generations, and then how that story continues on in his own life.
Yeah, he's almost reliving his dad's experience.
Yeah.
In some sense. He's becoming like, because he sees that his dad was, you know, not the most popular guy in high school and was bullied, and then he's experiencing it himself because he stands up to Biff. So yeah.
So then, for another example that I think is actually a really interesting example, look at No Country for Old Men. Now, the thing I love about the Coen brothers is that they're constantly subverting their own, the audience's expectations. They're playing with it. They play with the contract constantly, which is where it alienates a lot of people, but the people who are willing to take the journey with them, they find something incredibly, like much more rewarding. So with No Country for Old Men, I don't know if you read the novel as well.
I didn't.
I love Cormac McCarthy. He's one of my favorite writers. I always compare him to like if Hemingway and Faulkner had a baby, it'd be McCarthy. But so Llewellyn Moss, he's kind of the hero. He's the underdog in the story, and you're following this whole journey. And the whole contract is it going to mean something that Llewellyn Moss is going to find this bag full of millions of dollars, go on a journey, and change his life, and everything's going to be awesome after that. We're going to get into spoilers here, so.
Okay, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Mm-hmm. So when he goes through this entire journey, and in the novel they also did this as well, he gets to a point, and the sheriff, Tommy Lee Jones' character, is following him around, and you're waiting for this whole thing to build up to this big, explosive, climactic payoff, where it's Anton Chigurh and Llewellyn Moss, and they're both well matched, and there's this hero and this villain, and you're waiting for the big standoff, and it doesn't come. And instead, Tommy Lee Jones drives up to a hotel. He sees just barely the periphery of some standoff, and Llewellyn Moss is dead. We never even saw it. We just see the dead body. And immediately, when I first read it, I had to go back and reread it. I'm like, did I miss something? Because it felt like, at first, my first response was, I just got cheated. They got me to invest in Llewellyn Moss. He's making this huge sacrifice. Why did he do this? But it was the fact that he did subvert that contract, that he did subvert our expectations. And then when you see it in the movie, they adapted it perfectly, where it's anticlimactic, but it's the fact that you're expecting the climax that created the meaningful resonance afterward. Like after that, when you start looking at like, what did it mean that Llewellyn Moss just died and it wasn't a standoff? In fact, his wife ends up having to pay the price as well. She ends up getting murdered by Anton Chigurh as well. And ultimately, it's this question, it goes back to the theme that, is this No Country for Old Men? Like, is this some evil that's ancient, that takes out, that has like no mercy for goodness or kind people? So ultimately, it really comes down to, when you're paying off a contract, you're trying to engage their attention. And if you do break it, you have to have a good reason for it. So, and art is a bridge. You're trying to build across the waters to somebody else's mind. And so ultimately, every single artist builds their bridges differently. Michael Bay will build his bridge all the way across so people can just kind of step on and have a conveyor belt across. And then Kubrick will build his bridge halfway across, and the audience has to build their bridge all the way halfway across, and then meet in the middle. And then you'll get someone like Wim Wenders or someone that, it takes you on a journey and you don't know where it's going, and you're pretty much building a bridge to where he's at, But, and everybody decides, every artist decides how far they want to build their bridge across the water.
Don't you think, though, every writer thinks that there's a payoff? That it makes sense to them, but unfortunately, to an outside view, they may not see that payoff.
Sure, I don't know. I can't speak for other writers.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there is, the basic economy of story. If you promise something, give it in a way that, the old adage is give the audience what they want in a way they don't expect. But it really comes down to the needs of the story. What are you trying to convey with your story? And I don't like imposing too much of, like, to me, what's really interesting is when, like, finding the exception of those rules until it actually means something new,